This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Well, hello and welcome to the Research Talks here from Stockbox on another end of the week. Alan, how are you doing?
It's like deja vu, Mark. The sun's come out. Yes,
Yeah.
it's been a very busy week actually. That long Easter break, which was really good, seems but a distant memory. But yeah, a busy and productive week. Thank you.
Good. Yes, also from us as well, been quite busy, and of course gold hitting 23. Well, no, not quite again to 2300, but certainly at all-time highs, which is very nice to see there. Just needs to make some of that money needs to perhaps make its way down to the junior end of the mining sectors, which of course we cover a lot. But I mean, you know, there is money available for companies who've got that good, compelling offer there, as we've seen before with like Power Metal Resources or Golden Metal. They've both got some raises away, and I know we're going to talk about an IPO, which is always exciting to hear about new companies coming onto the market there. That's EU Green Transition, who you'll be talking to us about there, who will be IPOing soon. But we're also going to cover Acuity Risk Management and Kondor Ai. So it's a couple of tech companies there, and of course the whole AI thing that's going on at the moment, of course, with Nvidia going crazy with their share price there on that hype, that bubble, that new innovation tech, whatever you want to call it. But there's no doubt it's definitely making waves. But let's talk about Acuity Risk Management then first, Alan, and what's going on with Acuity, because I know they've been sort of steady away, really, growing out the contracts there.
Well, they have, Mark. Yeah, and of course, Acuity we've spoken about many times before, and spoken to Kerry Chambers, as have you, and looked at the way this company is growing. It's a great little niche company. They've so the company started out as Drums, of course, and then acquired Acuity Risk Management, and Acuity specializes in governance, risk management, and compliance software, or GRC software. And it has won awards for its platform, which is known as Stream, STREAM, and they're selling into a burgeoning marketplace. I mean, the GRC software market is worth about 15 billion at present, expected to rise to some 27 billion by 2027. So huge growth opportunity there. And I think what the way Acuity have grown their business is from the ground up. They have no debt. They have plenty of cash, and I think it's the sort of company that everyone should have in their portfolio, because it will just provide that steady growth. The possibility that somebody could, or a bigger company could, come along and bid for the group. But at the end of it, I do see the company paying a dividend one day, given the amount of cash they're generating. So they generate revenues from software licensing. So they're selling to corporates, to government, and licensing out their Stream platform via software as a service or private cloud delivery over what typically a 3-year license. They then provide professional services, and of course that's consultation. So every company and organization has different needs. So they'll then tailor the software platform to the specific needs of that company. Design, then build, test, and hand over, and the company earns then from the subscription revenues in some cases, or the fees that are paid by the group. And it's certainly fair to say the company's really been driven by the former Chief Ops Officer Kerry Chambers, who that was then moved up to CEO, working alongside Angus Forrest, the chairman there. A lot of contract wins were announced by the group last year, leading British insurers. But then in July, Stream announced a contract win with the British government. And that really, I think, was a threshold moment for the group. The contract was worth just under 400,000 over 3 years, with a 4-year option to extend by another 125,000. And that was followed then in December by the company's largest ever contract win, 561,000 over 5 years. So we had a trading update from the company in January, and it provided a year-end update And of course, bear in mind that the company is generating these revenues, but they're not always attributable to that same year. So of course, the revenues then just build and build and build as the pipeline grows. So the year-end update revealed 9 months revenues of 1.4 million, and that compares to full year revenues up to March 23 of 1.75 million. So substantial growth there. The company also said it had cash of 1.2 million with 900,000 at the bank. Now, if we look at the chart today, the company is currently trading at 3.8p, down from year highs of 9.75p, 10p. And that gives the company a market cap of just 4.5 million. So, nearly a million of that is accounted for by cash at the bank, which is a fantastic position to be in. So, along with that, the company said that orders were up 44% to 1.6 million, 1.1 million previously, but the prospect pipeline for the group now stood at nearly 8 million, and that's up from 4 million in March last year. Alongside this, the company is working with partners to generate revenue through their sales contacts. So partnership revenue potential now of 1.4 million, up from 800,000 previously. And these partners include companies such as Claritas, Logicalis, Netitude, and the US SEC, which of course is that marks a significant step forward for the company. We also heard about a new contract win, relatively small amount, 103,000 over 3 years, with a Northern USA state organization. And Angus Forrest said when that contract was won that the company hoped it would be the first of many to come from that direction. But that really, I would imagine, has come from as a result of the British government contract, because it's then very easy for that contract to open doors into other governmental departments and also governmental departments overseas, particularly in the Northern USA. And once you get embedded into those sort of environments, once you're embedded, it's very hard then to disconnect that process. So in that regard, this is a really strong business model, and I think offers great growth opportunity. And just as a footnote here, the company has announced a couple of TR1s. November last year, Jonathan Mark Swan picked up 3% of the company. That's 3.6 million shares. And it was just announced a few weeks ago that he'd increased that holding to just over 4%, or just under 5 million shares. So he's seen this fall in the share price. We're trading at year lows now, which I think, given the progress the company made, is baffling. But certainly, I think the long-term growth potential here is excellent. There's great visibility on the revenues, and that revenue's really locked in. As I say, once this company has its systems embedded into the company or the governmental department, it's very hard to change that, without a lot of costs. So that's really, in my book, almost revenue for life. So a great little company, I think. Substantially undervalued at this time.
Well, yes, and I mean, like you say there, the contracts they've got there with the government, significant, really, because it's not easy to get into those departments at all. We know how long that can take. So I think that's testament to, one, the technology, first of all, but second, well, the approach that the team are making, really, with Kerry and Arthur really at the helm there. And as you say, once you're in with those departments, it opens all the doors for the other departments, and yeah, they don't change very often. So it's almost like I don't use the word guaranteed, obviously not, but almost as close to guaranteed as you can get. And they're not small departments either. I mean, the SEC there, you've got contracts with the MOD. These are serious contracts, and that says a lot about the let's say the integrity or the quality of the software, because it's not like it's any old government department. These are quite strategic government departments. So
well, they are, yeah. I mean, a lot of sensitive information passes through there. So it also, as you say, it reflects the integrity of the software, but also the integrity, I think, of the team that both the management team and the team that are providing that software, because you won't get through the door of any government department if you don't have the very best people and obviously the very best solution. So yeah,
indeed. Okay, well, let's talk about Kondor AI then. So again, it's tech, and it's quite interesting, isn't it? This tech that they're working on. I know it's relatively new and it's still always being developed and rolled out. But what can you tell us from your point of view, Alan, about Kondor?
It's very interesting, Mark, and I think in particular because the if you look at the website and then you look at the app, you can understand how it works instantly, and I think that's the thing with AI. You know, we're being assaulted by all of this AI going forward that's coming into play and coming to use. And I think a lot of people are saying, well, you know, how does it work? How can I utilize it in my everyday life? And I think Condor have the perfect answer for that. You know, it's they should perhaps start using the old TV ads for those Condor cigarettes. You know, that Condor moment. But I mean, what Kondor AI offers is an AI system that understands images, and it's the apps are very simple. The app for iOS is up and running. The app for Android is now in beta on Google Play in North America, and it simply means that with the app on your phone or device, you can take a picture and start chatting. You can take a picture. You can get ideas for, say, recipes for your workout, your fashion tips, plant care advice, DIY,
Mm.
education, learning, visual games, stories, design inspiration, and so on. Um, and I think the way this works is particularly good. And you know, I watched the interview with Ewan Collins, you know, one of the co-founders,
Mm.
and how he described somebody was looking for inspiration and took a picture of themselves and said, well, look, I want to wear these clothes and this clothes. What haircut should I have to go with it? And I think the app recommended that the guy go and have a buzz cut, which he did, and he was then delighted with the look. So the fact that AI can tell you how you should look is pretty cool. I mean, that to me is that's really that's a really practical example of how it can work, and also, you know, it's made that person feel better. So there's real value that they've got real value from the app because of that. So so building on the value, of course, then they've Condor have launched this the Condor Plus, which is the premium model. Although I know they're working with a freemium model too, where you can undertake so many transactions or messages, and then you're then prompted to go to the next level, which is I think about $13 a month. So it's a very modest outlay. But I think the Condor Plus offers you the fastest iteration of the software to date, unlimited messages, and also access to beta features. And I think what I was particularly impressed with watching the interview is that the the founders, Ewan and Jonathan, are looking at the messages that are coming back and actively acting on those messages. So the people that are subscribing to Kondor AI are active participants in its evolution and development. So you're getting development in real time from end users who are only too delighted to provide you with, you know, market research that in some cases would have cost many thousands of pounds to secure answers from. So they're getting that for free via the app, which I think is a fantastic opportunity. And if we look at the company itself, of course, it listed on Aquis in December last year, raised 1.5 million at 3p with a market cap of just 4.5 million. And of course, if we look at the company now, we're now trading at 17p, sorry, 9.75p, which gives it a market cap of 17 million. And really, I think demonstrates just how far and how much value the market sees in the opportunity. And of course, they've launched the premium model. The downloads way exceeded expectations. You know, the group said that 10,000 downloads at this point would have been a major milestone for the company, but it's actually doubled that, 20,000 downloads of Condor AI app on the App Store. And of course, you know, the company is getting so much feedback, as I said, from its members, and the app is essentially becoming more and more intuitive, fitting into everyday life. As the company goes forward, it's planning to really push into North America during Q2. It has a presence in Asia as well. But the next step for the group is is rather than taking pictures and using pictures to generate AI input, it's then using video. So, for example, if you wanted some ideas to decorate your house, you can do or take a walk around video of your house and ask for some design inspiration, and you'll get that from the AI app, which is great. If people are looking for ideas, and AI can come up with methods for decorating your house or remodeling your house or giving you a Zen remodel. That's a really strong. It's a really strong way forward. Um, the company's had a lot of success marketing through TikTok, Instagram, and of course Facebook or Meta. And I think we're going to really see the group make some substantial progress as we go forward. Also interesting to know the share structure too. So 26% free float. There are some warrants to be issued, but the warrants are largely held, or many of the warrants are held by the management team, which includes Jill Kenny and Nick Hellier, Ben Sampson also. But the founders, Jonathan Bixby and Ewan Collins, both hold substantial chunks of the business, and of course they're very much invested and engaged with the business going forward. So I think the app, I've seen a few AI apps and looked at them, and I think this is the most practical app I've seen, but also the one potentially with the broadest reach, because it's just using what we all like to do, which is to take pictures. I mean, goodness me, we had a big family day on Sunday. Loads of pictures were taken, and loads of pictures are always shared on our family WhatsApp group. So for them, for them to take the next step and say, well, what do you think of this room? How should I decorate it? Take a picture, and then you get that image back from Kondor, and then share it with everyone. It just shows how quickly this can be marketed, and also probably the reason why they've had 20,000 downloads to date. But I think at the next update, we're going to see substantially more. So a real growth company in really a sector that is right at the very start of its evolutionary phase.
Well, indeed, it is right at that very start, isn't it? You mentioned there about sort of taking the video around the house and asking for ideas. That sounds really cool. I mean, one of the examples that Ewan gave me on sort of feedback from people, he said that someone had taken a picture of themselves and asked them what hairstyle might suit me, and it had suggested a buzz cut, and this person was like, whoa, no, I'm not sure on that. But they did it anyway, and apparently they love it. I think it really suits them.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely brilliant. But I think also they love the buzz cut, but they also now love the Kondor app, because the Kondor app suggested this, which it's raised their self-esteem, it's raised their aspirations, and that's all from whether they were using the free app or the premium app, I don't know. But
yeah,
if I'd done that, and if I got the haircut that the app said I should have, and I felt good about it, I would subscribe to the premium on the back of that. I think you've got such value from that straight away. What else can it deliver? It's really exciting.
Yes. And I know when I was in London and met with Ewan, we did take a picture of one of a it was a graphic design piece that was on the wall. I just sort of said, hang on, so I could just take a picture of this picture here, and it will tell me about it, and we did it, and it worked. I mean, you took a picture of it, and there was glare because it was on a you got some reflection coming from the frame there, but it picked up what the graphic was. It knew who had designed it, who had done it. It suggested where it could be bought from. It even gave some history as to what the story was about on the graphic, and then it even said there might be some glare which suggests it's in a frame. So it even picked up the fact that there was glare on there. So it's really quite impressive. But it is just at the start, as you've said, of its journey. And I'm on an Android. I've not made the move to an iPhone. I've been resisting it for a number of years. So I haven't actually managed to test it properly. But I will as soon as it's available on Android. Then we can perhaps talk a bit more about some practical uses of it. And also, we need to get stuck into the actual investment case as well, the revenue case of it, and that's something I was saying to you. And we have got the freemium, but also the premium version there of the app, and we need to start getting digging into how that company is going to start making money for shareholders. But in terms of the concept and the idea and the fact it's rolled out and ever improving, it's very impressive. And yeah, hopefully at some point during the course of this year, we'll get some idea of revenues coming in and how they're going to really boost that. You'd mentioned about partnering with brands, specifically to do kind of joint kind of yeah, not a joint venture, but kind of joint offer with a brand utilizing Kondor Ai. But yeah, I'm sure that will come. But it's a great little story to get going with, anyway.
Well, it is, and I think also, looking at the valuation and the growth in the company since coming to market, it's somewhat reminiscent of the dot-com boom because, of course,
Yeah,
at that point, dot-com came along and everyone wants a piece of the action. And I can remember, the major US investment banks, JP Morgan, sticking 14 million in here, 25 million in here, and these were companies that weren't even generating revenue. So in a sense, I think we're at a point where AI is developing. It's a burgeoning marketplace. It's where everything's going to go in future. But it's really how practically it gets, or how it gets adopted, how practical the solution is, and how it gets adopted into everyday life. And I think looking at Condor, you can see exactly, or you can picture in your mind's eye before you even use it, how it's going to work. And I think that's the best thing about Condor so far. And I think it's the best AI company to come to market. It's one that my maxim is, if I can see and understand how it works and then how the revenue is generated, then that'll mean most people can. So, and certainly with some of the other AI companies out there, it's a little harder to sort of grasp the concept. But I think Condor have really nailed it from day one.
indeed. Well, let's finish off then on EU green transition. Alan, the new IPO.
Yeah, this is really exciting, and I think many people listening might say, "Oh goodness me, not another mining company." It's we've had a fairly parlous time with mining resources over the past few years, but just be mindful that this market can change any time. But what isn't in doubt is the fact that we are in this transition, and there is a huge demand and a supply squeeze for assets or minerals such as rare earth elements, such as lithium and copper and other metals. And just the other day, Europe passed the European Critical Raw Minerals Act, which is there to ensure and secure a sustainable supply of critical raw minerals within Europe. And there's a very good reason for that. There are so many manufacturing hubs in Europe. There are so many EV manufacturing hubs, clean tech manufacturing hubs that all require these new elements to power and be part of the construction process. So sourcing those minerals is vitally important. And if these minerals can be sourced in Europe, there's less distance to travel. I mean, we're already seeing, for example, with the Sinovac lithium project in Czechoslovakia, they're building a lithium battery plant just across the valley. So the Sinovac lithium project will supply that plant as it develops and evolves. And this is happening all over Europe. So it's identifying these green assets and green economy assets that's critical. So EGT is coming to market next Monday. It's IPOing. The company's already raised 6.45 million at 10p. That's just under 65 million shares. There's also a 500,000 book build with retail investors that closed yesterday. And it's hugely successful already in my book, because we have a management team behind it that I think are uniquely qualified to deliver. So the company's headed up by none other than Carl Friel, and of course, people who listen to our podcast will know Carl Friel is a huge dynamo within the investment sector. He, for instance, founded Cove Energy when Cove Energy PLC acquired a distressed asset in 2009, sold 33 months later, for 1.9 billion, and that asset was acquired for 1 million. He IPO'd Amrit Pharma at 50 million in 2016, which acquired distressed assets from Bergen, Nigerian, and Chiasma. Sold Amrit in 2023 for 1.48 billion. And then, of course, Open Orphan PLC floated in 2019 at 14 million, acquired Venn Life Sciences and hVivo, and of course, then changed the name to hVivo. hVivo currently has a market capitalization of 200 million. And he's achieved this through careful and prudent investing and selecting or the timing of investments through identifying key value inflection points in the company or within the asset, and he's been hugely successful at that. Cal's own company, Raglan Capital, also undertakes many other activities. But Raglan is renowned for building in-house companies that are then spun out and developed as I've just described. We then have Aidan Lavelle, Chief Executive. Aidan is a geologist. He served as Chief Officer at Zinnwald Lithium, which of course also has another lithium project based in Europe, and has worked with a number of other companies, including working at the Ulstrom rare earths project, which is one of the company's initial key three investments. And Ulstrom is based in Sweden. It's got a 102 square kilometers permit area with an indicated 4.5 million tons of total rare earth oxides at 0.6%, and the potential there to significantly grow the resource. The company also has the Pajala graphite project, which is in northern Sweden, 52 licenses over 52 meters, up to 5 million tons of high-grade graphite, and also a strong copper target there with multiple intersections. Copper is also very key to this. And the group also has a number of assets in Germany, in the Saxony area, and these are sort of projects that have through a lot of historic mining a long history, and the company is seeking to advance the exploration there primarily for lithium, tin, tungsten, silver, and fluorite. But I think we've heard similar stories before from other companies, and of course, we both. We've worked with Cadence Minerals and Kira Mazzari for many years as a mining investment company and seen how those investments develop. But I think what Carl and his team bring to this is the ability to time the investments, to time the entry and the exit perfectly. And remember, Carl was responsible for spinning Poolbeg Pharmaceuticals out of Open Orphan, and what they do at Poolbeg now very successfully, and this is also working with Jeremy Skillington, the chief executive. They develop assets. They develop assets to a certain point, and then they sell them on to major players in the pharma industry. And Jeremy Skillington is he's also achieved a tremendous amount in that sector. He developed Inflazome Biotech, sold it onto Roche Pharmaceuticals for $450 million himself. So Jeremy's not involved in European green transition, but the same principle is there. So the company are going to buy and sell, and build the business. And in this market, to raise 6.45 million at 10p, and also to have a substantial following for this book build is quite an achievement. And I think just to reiterate the point that Ursula van der Leyen, she's the EU president, made, particularly in regard to the Ulstrom rare earths project. Rare earths will soon be more important than oil and gas. Our demand for rare earths alone will increase 5-fold by 2030. So that's why the European Critical Raw Minerals Act was introduced. That's why it's now in law, and that's why it's now going to be a cornerstone, really, for the EGT green transition, European green transition, as it comes to market and evolves in the coming months.
Yes, rare earths. I like rare earths, Alan. I like them. and there's not many opportunities to invest in rare earths. They're not loved, and I like that because I think one day they will be. And yeah, when you're right, Ursula von der Leyen making that statement. Yeah, rare earth elements, REEs, will be 3 words that are on the lips of many, many more people in the years to come. But now is the time to be getting exposure to opportunities. I mean, that's impressive because you've got, 7 million raised roughly there?
7 million,
It's a lot,
7
isn't
million
it?
raised. Yeah,
It's very good.
And coming to market with that. But of course, Carl and his team, this is just the start. And he's turned Open Orphan from a tiny company into a 200 million pound company. And that team worked non-stop during COVID to build the testing centers in London, and it's just evolved into a major play.
Yeah.
And Carl, the thing is, if he's involved, he's genuinely a guy that can change sector fortunes and change people's thinking in the mining resource sector. And I think we're seeing so many quality companies. I mean, for obviously for Stockbox, I interviewed Ryan Mee earlier this week at Fulcrum Metals, and I mean, he's got some terrific ideas, and he's got a different mindset about how to approach developing a mining company. Working with partners to develop technologies, particularly around the extract process solutions that we discussed on that interview. But I think this is what's happening in the sector now. We're seeing people with different approach and different ideas come to market. But when you see a big hitter like Carl come to the market with this, it underlines. It also says that he sees real value in this sector right now, and I think that's what really excites me about this. And we're really excited to be working with those guys going forward. But mark my words, this company's got a very big future indeed.
Well, thank you so much for introducing that to us, Alan. I'm sure we'll be covering them a lot more in the future. So bring on Monday, I say.
Bring on Monday, indeed. I should also say there will be a webinar at 6:00. When we tweet out the link to this podcast on Sunday, I'll include that link to the webinar, the EGT webinar, so you can sign up for it and watch Carl and.
And when's the webinar?
It's 6:00 Monday afternoon.
Right. Okay. So yeah, post IPO. What's the idea? To sort of just introduce investors, welcome to the market, kind of thing.
Welcome to the market. Yep, this is who we are, and really setting out the stall and the plans going forward.
Okay.
And as I say, the 3 projects the company has, those are right at the start.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Alan, and do have a pleasant weekend.
Thank you, Mark. You too.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.